If you're a mama on a budget, this is for you. We're going to talk about one thing you can do starting this week that's going to help you to keep you on track with your grocery budget. If you're like me, you're on a tight budget and you need to make sure that you are not going over your grocery budget as best as you can. And while we do things to try to keep ourselves on track, such as using coupons, going to discount grocery stores, shopping sales, even doing online grocery shopping to help reduce impulse purchases are all great things that we can do to help ourselves stay on track. But I was finding that no matter what I was doing, no matter what I was purchasing, I was still going over my budget. And I thought, okay, is it just the day and age we're living in? Groceries are really expensive and maybe my budget's just not high enough. I need to increase it. Or is there something else going on? And I realized that it wasn't necessarily what I was buying, but it was how I was shopping. So I was noticing that between my husband and I, we were going to the grocery store between 2 to 3 times a week. We would go grocery shopping, think we got everything that we needed. And then inevitably, as the week went on, we realized, oh, we forgot this, or oh, we needed to do that. And oh, I want to make this meal tonight. Let me just quick run to the store. The problem with that is that anytime we would go to the store thinking we were just getting one thing, we'd end up getting a bunch of things because something would catch our eye or we thought about something else we needed. And inevitably, what would happen is that budget that we created for the week, we always ended up going over because of how many times we were going to the store. So I realized that I needed to create a way of organizing my thoughts so that I knew exactly what I needed for the week, plan it out, and make sure that I was keeping myself on track as best as I can. So I ended up creating a simple planner for myself to help keep myself organized. I'm going to show that to you now. And then if you want to grab it for yourself, you can head into the links below. It's totally for free just to help you out with getting yourself planning. So let's go ahead and jump on in and I'll show you how it works. So the way I organized my thinking was I needed to know what I needed to buy weekly versus bi-weekly and occasionally or monthly, depending on how you want to organize it. So what I did is I took a look at what we needed every week. What were the items that we were going through consistently? Things like peanut butter, yogurt, cheese, bananas, water, formula for my little one. Those were things that I knew every week I was going to need to purchase these items. So no matter what, whenever I went to the grocery store, I was going to purchase these things. And that really helped me to stay on track. I knew that I wasn't going to be getting duplicates of these items. So what I did is I went in and I filled in what I bought weekly, and then I found the totals of each of these items. Don't necessarily look too close at the prices I have listed here. I just kind of threw them in here for you to get an idea of how this worked. The next thing I did was said, okay, I know what I need every week, but what are those things that we go through pretty consistently, but we can probably last for a little bit longer than a week, right? So like for us, things like eggs, I'm not going through a dozen eggs every week just yet. My little one's still pretty little, so we aren't necessarily eating that many of them, and many other items as well that we just can kind of keep around for longer than a week. So I went through and determined what all of those items were. Then I said, okay, then there's those items that are really more occasional, right? Like I'm not buying trash bags every single time I go to the grocery store. There's so many that come within a pack. They really last a longer time. So what are some of those longer items or items that I don't need necessarily all of the time? That one in my occasionally column. From there, I simply go in and I'm filling in the price for each one of my items. And as I do that, I get the subtotal and then the grand total at the end. Now, you don't have to fill in the prices. As a matter of fact, I really only wanted all of my weekly prices because I don't necessarily spend all of this throughout the week. So I really just kind of go in and fill in the prices as I'm using them. So I have a sense of, okay, this is what I'm going to be spending this week on my grocery. So if you want to give this a try for yourself, you might really like it. I loved how it kept me on track. I knew what I needed to buy every week. There was no more guessing when I went to the grocery store. I knew what I needed. I was able to shop, get it, and get out without spending a lot of extra money on my groceries. You can find a copy of this for yourself in the description links below.